TNT did not drop. That is a problem. Again, no TNT. What is going on? Wait for this to go. Come on. Uh-oh. All right, that's good. That's good. And voila. Okay, I was expecting it to explode. So on my latest episode of Farms with Frost, where I explain a bunch of farms and all the mechanics behind them, I did one on raid farms, and I don't got one in this world. It's actually the first time I've done that. Gone and researched it a bunch before actually building it, but now that I understand it fully, I think we can build a really good one today. But before we even get to building the raid farm, we need to get the ominous bottles, and I'm not going to manually farm them. So we're also going to make a farm for that as well. So let's get to it. So I've gone and gathered up the materials for a kind of modest size ominous bottle farm, and we're now going to go find an actual pillager outpost. I don't know where the closest one is, so time to fly around a bit. Finally. Oh, I've been flying around for ages. Let's look at the F3 right here. 1,000, 2,000. So we are quite far away. And I don't like how kind of bumpy this area is, because I'm going to have to flatten out a bit, but we're looking like we're going to have to challenge these guys. Let's just take out a couple of them quickly. Or, oh, I guess that alerts everyone to my position. Can't be sneaky no more. And we're going to take these guys down. Problem is, we're going to have to destroy this whilst these guys might be still spawning. I don't know how the spawn rates work. I assume... yeah, they're just going to keep spawning no matter what. So let's clear them out a little bit. We're going to have to destroy the entire tower, so that's going to be fun to do. Oh, looks like they got me. Let's maybe... nope, can't even knock them off. But I've got a strong axe. And, I guess we're using this for now to block off the ascent. A fire aspect book, interesting. I guess we can block it off with this and get my crafting table back. So, this whole ominous farm is going to need to be at the bottom level, so I need to clear out this entire tower. I guess I'll go around and do all the cobblestone, and then I got a friendly flint and steel here that might be able to help speed up the process. And here we are, looking a little weird with all of the terraforming I did. As you can see, it's not perfect, as a lot of these guys are spawning in areas where they can't actually see the iron golems, so they're not going to go into the portals, they're not going to die, they're not going to come out, and my chest is right there. It's an entity, so it's unloaded. But you can see there's a decent chunk going through right now, so let's see if we can fly down carefully. There's so many already in here, we just got to be careful and kill the ones that are close. We have to sneak up to our storage area. Might be a better idea to get a closer one, but as you can see, we're already getting quite a few. We're going to fly back up because it's getting to night again, so I spent quite a bit of time clearing everything out and getting this platform up. So, to fix this, I would have to go to about there, where you see those guys spawning now. I'd have to spawn proof down there, because below here, actually I can just fly down to show you, I started spawn proofing things like this with buttons. We're going to fly further away. Let's get our bed out and sleep real quick. Alright, now that's that done. We just need to do a lot of spawn proofing just to improve it overall. As you can see, these guys can't see this guy. Only the ones, probably even, I might have even went too far out on this. I don't know. I haven't seen any spawn on this edge, so far we're okay. Just manually take care of this guy. Dropped a bit of wool when I was fixing up my platform there. But it is pretty good, so I would just have to AFK. This is what I've gotten from just building it, so some 4s, some 2s, a couple 1s, a couple 3s, and a couple of 5s. And then plenty of these banners that I'll probably be trashing. So now I just need to do a bunch of spawn proofing just to improve it, but now we have a steady source of ominous bottles which can fuel our raid farm. Alright, you might recognize this farm as one of the basic stacking farms that uses all the job relocation. You might notice it from my video I made just on Sunday about all the different raid farms and stuff, but it's slightly different coming down to this front area. Now, this is just a little bit of a sorting system using just the basic item filter just to get things for these basic ones along this edge. I've also got one that's going to fill up with totems of undying using a little copper golem, because sorting unstackables is kind of hard. That doesn't belong there. And all it does is anything that can't fit in here, is I don't really need infinite totems. I just need a steady supply of them. So this chest will always be full as long as I run this, and when I take one out, he'll grab one from in here if there's any spare and drop it down there, and anything extra goes into here, down to an auto dropper, into a lava cauldron to destroy it. So I'm getting rid of the axes, the crossbows, the potions, and the saddles, because I don't really need them. If I need a couple of them, I could probably just sit and wait at this chest and snag them out because it moves quite quickly. The rest of these are just regular stack ones, and then this one over here is actually a shulker box loader snuck in behind here. Very simple. As this gets filled up, you can't open it, but all the emeralds, I have 2 because it wasn't going in. Sometimes they were skipping over and I was losing some, so I focused them through, and now I've got all the emeralds that I'll ever need going into here. So I'm going to bring this over into my hardcore world. First, I'll have to get all the materials for it, and then it has to be very specific. As you can see, it needs to be at the section relative, so that's on the screen now on the F3, so it just needs to be the 500 and then y equals 160, otherwise it won't work. So let's go and start building. Alright, and that is the build for the most part. We still have a few missing things. One of those being a bit of TNT for the TNT duping that's going to be needed for killing all the raiders. That'll be placed in last because I didn't want to accidentally trigger it and blow up a bunch of stuff. We also need to get the villagers into their spots. Now that used to be a huge hassle and stuff when you had to do rails and stuff, but now with the happy gas, we can just plop them up real easy. As well as you might notice, the front of this is looking a little bit bare because I made it out of emeralds. I don't actually have any emeralds yet, so we're going to have to run this a little bit, wait for this to kind of fill up. I got my shulker loader here, so once that gets enough, I'll be able to place those in, get all the stairs above these guys, and then all the signs in there. I think that's pretty much everything that I'm missing. Oh, and we'll need to get all the special fireworks, not just the regular ones like this, because when you launch that, that doesn't explode. I need a fireworks star, so I need to figure out how to do that, as well as loading this up with at least level 3 ominous bottles. So we'll have to do a bit of AFKing at the farm. I think it's like 1,000 blocks that way. I set up a nether portal, so I don't have to do all the flying. It'll be much quicker. So let's go grab our villagers, and then we'll do a bit of crafting. All right, we were lucky, and I left my farmer breeder online, so I have tons of villagers kind of wandering around. Problem is, now we have to slowly drag these guys all the way into the distance. You can't even see it. I mean, the creeper farm's somewhere around here, and it's about another couple hundred blocks that way. But a nice little trick that you might not know to speed up your gas delivery speed is if you lead your gas, and you can't use your firework rockets, but if you have an elytra on, let's just watch this, and you go, you can actually pull them along at this speed, as long as you don't use your rockets, because that'll break it. But this is like triple, maybe quadruple the speed of what the gas can do. Problem is we just can't go up, so you have to kind of get a lot of vertical and then jump off, and here we are. See, we're almost already there. So let's do these 2, and then I gotta grab 2 more for the rest of the tower. Alright, that took a lot longer than I thought. These guys were somewhat cooperative. Just getting this guy all the way over here took a while. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then our 4th is way up there. He was actually the easiest because he didn't have all this stuff around him. And that is everything. We're gonna leave the TNT here until it is time to place it in. So next, let's go get those fireworks. Alright, we're back at base here, and here's everything we're going to need. We're going to need some paper, some gunpowder, and a bit of dye. I'm going to use bones just because I have plenty left, so there's a stack of that. So you start off with making the fireworks star. So this allows it to actually explode. So that, and then you do that with your gunpowder, and then the paper. So we've only gotten 3 stacks to start with. I don't have a lot of gunpowder, so we're going to have to do a bit of AFKing, and actually this farm gives some gunpowder, so maybe it'll create a little bit of extra, but we're going to have to do some AFKing at our gunpowder farm. But now with this guy, we can go this, and that does damage, and that's what it allows us to take credit for the kill. And we're also going to be holding a looting sword, so we'll get the looting effect as well. Alright, so we're going to load in our damaging fireworks. They're going to go into this dispenser here, or dropper. It's going to give it to me when I use it, and I'll be able to throw them up, so I'm going to need a lot more. And then I'm going to need to get some more omens. I need more than 1 because I need it to be giving a certain amount. I am on hard mode, so I'll get more waves, more guys, but I need the higher amount. So let's fix up this wall a little bit. Alright, all that's left is to place my TNT inside the whole thing. I gotta set up all my filters, but to get the filters I actually need all the items, so I'll probably just wait a little bit, maybe divert the hoppers into just a chest so I can steal the items so I can set the filters up back there. And I have to get more of these ominous potions. So I'm gonna go AFK at the brand new ominous farm that we just built, see how many we can get, and then maybe I have to do a little bit more spawn proofing like I mentioned earlier. Haven't done it yet, but if it's not fast enough, I'll do that. And then we'll test it out, see how it works. Let's see how it goes. Alright, after that out of the way. After that small little trip, this is what we got. Not too much, about 2 Minecraft days, so about half an hour to 40 minutes, I'd say. So not horrible, but definitely not a lot. So that means I can do this cycle 33 times, based on how many of the bad omens I have. I don't know if the 4s and 5s are okay to be used. If so, then I've got lots more. I think you want to avoid the 1s and 2s just because they're not as effective, but they still might work. We'll just have to test out and see. So we've got our firework rockets here. I got my looting sword just holding it in there. I'll make sure to pick it out when I need it. I also went and added all of the water to that column. Just went and grabbed some kelp from down there. Grew it all the way to the top, so now it can actually detect a change when the bottom one is missing. And all that's left is to put this TNT in. So let's find the right spot and see if we can even do it without everything built around it, or if I'm gonna have to do a little bit of deconstructing. Alright, it's a little noisy with all these pistons going off, but here is where the TNT has to go. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of mining. We'll have to see. There's nothing below there. And no, okay, that's going into the sorting system. So let's actually go grab that quickly. Alright, finally got it. Okay, it's got stuck in one of these hoppers. I still need to set up all the filters before we can even run this, but what we have to do is, let's turn it back on. So it's just down there. So we need to place it right next to this guy. Stained glass, redstone dust. Let's hope nothing explodes. Alright, that's good. That's good. And voila. Okay, I was expecting it to explode. Alright, we're all good. Let's go set up these filters, and then let's run it a little bit. Alright, and with these guys going in, that is our filter system all put together. So we have one of each, so for now, it'll fill these up before actually going in, so we have to get a little bit of product before we can even start getting into our storage, but this will allow it to all be sorted. Everything not sorted will go into here. I'll have to, I guess, sacrifice one of my totems so we start sorting into there, and everything else will go into there to be destroyed. So let's go test this thing out. Alright, so how this is going to work is I'm going to go in here, hold right click on this spot. I'm going to get these guys. I'm going to be given some of these. I'll power through. If it works, they'll all start spawning up there, collecting there. The TNT will dupe. I'll send a firework up. It'll kill them. Hopefully there's no other spawnable blocks. Otherwise the raid will actually start there. Actually, now I'm seeing this. This one is a spawnable block, and so is that. Ooh. Plus, you can't have anything in your inventory, so I'm going to have to go and collect some buttons up and cover over on this. Actually, what we could do, just for now, half slab. Bottom half slab, that should work, and it's going to be the same for all of these. So let's quickly place all these so that nothing can spawn over here as well. I buttoned on this side, but I guess I missed a couple, and I'm hoping that's good, because otherwise they're going to spawn right behind me and just start attacking. Alright, let's give it a shot. Let's fill up the inventory real quick. Use some arrows, so everything goes into my hand. So we're going to hold right click now. Oh yeah, we need to set up the timer. Alright, looks like I had just enough spare arrows. I got one left for my infinity bow, but you need 38 items, and that was what was wrong with this whole thing. As you can see, now it's going to go. Probably going to drop a TNT? Ooh, I'm not sure. But we're going to have to now fill up our inventory again with just random stuff. I see some torches. Alright. Guess we'll wait for that to go by on the counter. Right. Starts working. I'll cut to that bit. Alright, here we go. Alright, it's opened up again. So let's try it again. Alright, we got the effect properly. So it's not Luminous, it's the raid effect. Okay, it shouldn't be giving me that many I think it gave me one extra firework rocket at the beginning there. But we're going to sit through this. We're going to give it a second, wait for them to spawn, and because it's going to be another 10 seconds before it spawns, just holding right click. All right, so the raid went off, and I got another one set up. So it does take a couple cycles for it to work properly, so you waste a little materials getting it started, which is why you need so many. But the raid will start, it'll spawn all the guys. All right, we can hear them, that's good. Now we're just waiting for this another one to finish out. And I'll be able to put my sword back into this pot. Let's see, okay. Drinking another one when that one ends. We're gonna get a firework rocket. The TNT did not drop. That is a problem. Alright, we've found our problem. We're missing a little bit of redstone. Hopefully this doesn't set the TNT off. I think that should fix it now. Just gonna have to trust that it will. Let's try it again. Oh, easy place off. We're wasting a lot of materials here. Okay, so that went off. So now we just need to hope next time we get our sword, TNT is going to drop. Wait for this to go. Come on. Uh-oh. That was what I was worried about. Let's go clean those guys up. Alright, so I just missed a couple blocks over here. These two ones were spawnable, so they all spawned there. So let's try this again. Again, no TNT. What is going on? Plus, I think I also saw another guy down there, so I need to take care of him, but something's wrong. Time to do diagnosis. Alright, it turns out I was missing these two torches again. So first time I was missing some redstone on this side, and then this time I was missing some torches on this side. So we've gone back. TNT actually did go off that time, so let's quickly test it out again. We're gonna hold right click. Ooh, gotta fix that. And 100th time the charm. Let's see. There we go. Kills them. And we start getting loot. I'm not gonna be into here yet, but we're gonna have to double check into the filters. I think I saw some going through. Ooh, let's check these guys. Looks like they're getting some work. Yeah, and that just destroyed something. Let's see, did I get a... No totem. Alright, let's run this a couple more times. But we do see it did work because we're getting XP now. And a decent chunk of it too, wow. This might be my new XP farm. Works 2 in 1. Alright, let's AFK this for a little bit. We only have 20 left, so gotta make use of what we got. Alright, problem 5,000 and a million, whatever. You must have saw those Vexes. That was crazy. About 100 of them spawned. I don't know why. Like, I mean, let's just go back over. They're not going to despawn because the Evoker, I guess, is still there. So, the second we get back in here. Okay, did they despawn? What happened? It came by like 3 times and they just kept respawning. There you go. So, I think I need to kill these guys. Yeah, you see, there's something in there. Let's... Alright, that killed some of them. But the Vexes, look how many of them! Jeez, okay, that is not good. I need to, like, despawn them, but then all 100 come back. Luckily, I don't have another bad omen effect on me, otherwise it would start the raid again. I just need to kill everything that's in there, and then do a little bit of, I don't know, problem solving? Search the internet a little bit? Okay, so we're gonna come down. Gotta get land quick. And jump off. I mean, that might have done it. But now we just have to deal with all these Vexes. And I don't know how to kill Vexes in the air. I've killed a couple with my bow, but these guys have the smallest hitbox possible. Alright, I managed to sneak a couple more rockets up there and kill everything. We started another raid, sadly. But I saw a couple of these guys start to die. Yeah, there you go. So once they lose the guy that they're working with, let's turn off this. Don't need that anymore. Slowly die. So I don't know what started that. I'm gonna have to go and check. It's the video where I got this from. Come on, come at me. Ooh, wow. Okay, so they take more than one hit with a diamond sharpness 5 axe. That is insane. And they do a lot of damage, or I guess a lot of them together do a lot of damage. But I'm not sure how the Vexes started to spawn. before we even attack these guys again, I'm going to do some research. You know, sometimes I just really hate this game, but then I come back and love it again. But this is one of the hating times. I have spent the past 2-3 hours. I've rebuilt this 2 or 3 times, this whole section, and I think it's finally working. You might have just saw at the beginning of the clip, some items were kind of sorting up there. Might be able to catch some in here. Maybe let's run over to this side. Yeah, we've got a full thing of totems. Lots of redstone, so it started to work, but God, that was painful. So, the problem I was having, this piston, no, it was this one up here. First, this one wasn't firing at all, so they were just getting stuck up here, which meant the evokers weren't coming down, which meant they could send their vexes at me constantly. I think that's one problem. And then another one is some redstone wasn't going off in here, and as well, if we sneak our way in here, it's hard to do it free cam because it's so jumpy. Ooh, a lot of items were getting stuck on here. For some reason, when the mobs would die, the items would get stuck on top of this rail instead of going to where their feet were, where it's supposed to drop. Not sure what fixed it, but rebuilding the whole thing fixed it somehow. So now we got everything working. We got our infinite totems that I'll never need to go looking for them again. We're disposing of all the random stuff. I'm probably going to have to set up something that like crafts these into blocks, but I had just run out of redstone for this build. I used the last of it, so we're all back in business there. Now I just have to wait for a bit more emeralds so I can finish this front bit to make it look nice. And then we also have infinite emeralds. Right now we can't really tell because this one is kind of blocked off. I also grabbed a bunch of empty ones, only a couple extra. So once that one fills up, the next one will be launched in and we can continually get them. So I just need to get a bunch of the shulkers into that chest so I never run out. But this was a very painful build. I've spent probably the longest on this than any other farm ever, like in this world at all. I've spent a couple hours on a couple other ones, but this one probably spent 6-7 hours. Like building it wasn't too hard, 1 hour or so, but fixing it took so long, and I never want to do that again. Now, the only thing missing from up here would be possibly a cow, just in case I do keep one of the effects. I mean, Hero Village doesn't really matter. That one is okay to keep for going back to my area. But if I have any of the other effects, I want to make sure I can remove them. So I'll bring a cow up here, get him a nice little pen, maybe make it nice for him. And for future me, just remember, sword's in this chest. Because I will come back and forget where it is and go to my own video to find out where I put it. So that's for future me. But I think that's where we're going to leave it for today's episode. This was a very tough one to do, so if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe for more episodes coming soon. Until next time.